So it actually all started from a question. Why did the bees visit the lavender? Do they play an important role with lavender, and have we kind of been overlooking it? What partnership do they have with the lavender? And most importantly, the question that I wanted to know the most, do they affect the profile of the essential oil itself?
Bees help lavender, and lavender helps the bees. But without bees, there is no lavender. Lavender can't even make seeds without bees. And the seed is what really provides for this population lavender, the diverse lavender that Young Living uses. You can grow lavender without bees if you do clonal lavender. You take clippings and you plant it that way, but you don't get that diverse suite of oils that Young Living is after.
One of the larger goals for Young Living is to really have our farms be a true ecosystem. Joe and Lindsay Wilson, they've gotten involved in this because really they are the bee experts here. And so we rely heavily on their research, both in France and at our farm in Mona.
First, we have to understand what is here. Then we can start figuring out what do we want to increase, how do we want to change it, how do we want to improve.
Joe and Lindsay were largely focused on starting out with what bees are present and in what numbers. And without those base questions, you can't really ask the next questions.
So here at the Mona Farm, we just published a paper kind of documenting the bee diversity. So when most people think of bees, they think of a honeybee. A honeybee is pretty different than all other bees in North America. In fact, 70% of the bees that live here are solitary ground nesting bees. She still collects pollen and nectar, but there's no queen or hive or workers or anything like that. The majority of the bee species we found was on the lavender. One of those was the honeybee. 67 of them were other kinds.
So if some bee species are better pollinators than others, well, we want to invite them to our farms, our ecosystems. So if you disturb their habitat, well, they're going to up and move somewhere else.
One thing that Young Living does already in their farming to help protect bees is they're not tilling in between some of their fields. They're actually just letting the plants that grow there naturally grow there.
The wild bees really like those areas and they can thrive there.
We take great care of our bees. In almost all the equipment, we've installed bee brushes, so it actually pushes bees away so they don't get harmed. We always have a little bit of varieties of other plants so that they can survive not only on lavender, but on other flowers also at different times of the year.
So far with this research, we've already learned a lot, but we hope to really just build off of that knowledge, implement better practices at these farms in France and Mona, but also some of our other farms.
What's impressive about Young Living is they're not doing this because they have to. They're doing this because they want to, and they genuinely care about their crops and their products enough to figure out how to really make their farms a part of the ecosystem and save bees the right way.
With every purchase of our essential oils and other products, people are supporting this research and these conservation efforts.
They're supporting this company that values the quality from seed to seal. And that process we're finding is really good for the bee communities too, because the care going into the farming is also helping make sustainable bee communities.
We're farmers, we're protectors of the earth. And so finding out that bees do play a really pivotal role in this, we need to include them into the cycle, just like nature and Mother Earth would. And we want to continue the research outside of lavender to see if it's the same with other plants as well. That's why it's so important to me, because it falls in line perfectly with who Young Living is, what we do, and why we do it.